welcome to another episode of the Reluctant Adult Podcast. My name is Paul, and I am joined, as always, by the man whose feeble skills are no match for the power of the dark side, Bill.
Hi, everyone. That's right. I am quite feeble.
That is the topic of the week. Our feebility as older.
Feebility?
Feebility.
Yeah.
That is the as older Americans. We are in that older American. We're in the grouping now of older. We're elder millennials. That's where we fall in. We're like on the cusp of what is considered a millennial. 83 was right there.
Right.
So we know what it's like to be our mental abilities are slipping a little bit every day. You know, we have to do those word tests that they advertise to try to keep our brains moving in the right direction.
I learned I can't do amusement park rides anymore.
Oh, did you get sick? Does the thing in your ear starts to make you dizzy?
I just got so we just came back from vacation. We did several small amusement parks. Nothing to the level of like a Universal or Disney.
Yeah.
But I'd go on a ride and it was just like my general sense of equilibrium, and I just felt unsettled.
Right.
And food, the last thing I wanted to do was eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're old, man. This is what happens.
This is 40,
we were warned. They tried to warn us. We were like, nah. We're kids. We're kids. But no,
we're be young forever.
The last time I went to Disney, I did the teacups, and I thought I was going to die.
No.
I thought I was going to die with the spinning. I can't spin.
Yeah.
I got the liquid in my ear, whatever that works. Ears are so weird. They're so weird.
We're up in Storyland, and there's a ride called, it's based off of an old style clock, but it's called the Glockenspiel.
Okay. Sounds German, but sure.
And it's like a teacup ride. Yeah. And my kid did it just fine, and everyone was like, "Oh," and then my other kid was like, "I didn't get to do it." So nobody wanted it. My daughter's at the age where she can go on rides by herself based on her height. Yeah. But my other kid can't.
Right.
And most of the rides are has to be ridden with a responsible partner.
I like that they throw responsible in there. It's
right. So
you can't just grab any transient.
As responsible as my eldest is, she's by no means able to watch my youngest kid.
No, of course.
So
not.
I bite the bullet and I go, I'll go on it. Yeah. Kids, please don't spin this thing as much, because it's one of those things where you can really ramp it up.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I'm sitting there, and they start doing it. We spin it a little bit, but it's enough. The kids, they don't have any real upper body strength, so it's not really spinning far.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's enough, kids. And then they stop the ride, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness, because I was starting to feel it. And they only stopped the ride because an accompanying cup had the door open.
No.
And they had to close it. And then they started the ride all back up again.
No.
And I was like, I had to get off. I was like, I'm done. I got to get off.
Just when you thought you were out, they pull you back in.
Right.
Yeah.
So then we fast forward. We go to Santa's Village. Mm-hmm. And thankfully they're allowed to ride on the teacup ride separately.
That's good.
Because the height restriction doesn't. But I watched a family of three, an older brother who was in his teens and two younger sisters, or at least maybe cousins. I don't know what the relationship was. And they spun it to the point where I was starting to get sick. Just and to the point where it was going so fast you could imagine one of the kids would get flung out of the cup.
Yeah. Damn.
And I was like, this is disgusting. And one of the kids is just lopped over, turning red, and they're like, this kid is gonna get sick. It's almost like watching, I don't even know. I was like, that's abuse. Because it's oh my God, that kid is just
yeah.
That kid is and the parents are just on the sides, laughing, and they're like, oh, you better slow down. She's gonna go. It's get her off the ride.
Yeah. Have you ever seen, on TikTok, or, probably even older than that, they're at just a playground, they have the circle that you spin, and you can run beside it and hop on. And someone
Right.
hooked up their dirt bike to the side
I
of it
just saw
to
that
spin it,
tonight.
and
Yes.
all the kids fly off because there's just no way to hold on. That's what everything feels like to me. I can't ride. I can't do any of it.
No.
So our plans of turning this into a theme park vlog is probably not going to come to fruition. We'll be doing Small World. They they refurbished Small World firsthand report.
Yes.
That's as much as I'm willing to do. Speaking of theme parks, Universal is opening this big, what's it called?
Epic Universe.
Epic. It's big. It's epic. It's an epic universe.
Yes.
And they're starting to sell ticket packages. And you have, in the first however long, I don't know how long this is lasting for. You have to buy a 3-day ticket, but you could only go to Epic Universe one of those days. So you have to go to the other parks, even though obviously you want to go to Epic Universe. And even if you're an annual pass holder, that is not included in it. You have to buy the tickets. And people are trying to justify this, saying that they're trying to allow the out-of-staters, the vacationers, to come in and experience it without the vloggers, without the social media people, the locals. Sure. So I get that. I think that's fine. I just remember when the first Harry Potter opens and the line stretched all the way to the cars, basically, out of the park through City Walk to where you enter through the turnstile just to get into City Walk. It was, I don't even know that everyone got into the park that day. It was insane.
I remember, so we had come down on one of our Florida trips, my wife and I, and we met you over there, got in, and
at Universal?
we were all excited to Universal. You were still working there, or had made an exit but could still kind of get in on a discount.
Yeah,
there was something. And you were like, "Oh yeah, Harry Potter. We'll get into that." And it was the whole section of the park was closed because of the press. It was a press event.
Sure.
So we got our picture taken in front of it, looking very sad in front of the castle.
Oh, we didn't get you in?
No, we weren't. We weren't press yet. I mean, I think if we fast forwarded now, we probably could have made the argument that hey, we have some credibility here.
Sure,
but
you probably have to pre-register for that. That sucks. Well, when I first moved down to Florida, my first gig was doing the Shrek, the spieling at Shrek.
Yeah.
But really, I got hired for Halloween Horror Nights because they'll just hire anybody off the street. But what was great back in the day is if you worked there, you got in. You could just get in free, which I think is still the case. But you got free tickets and stuff. So I had a bunch of free tickets. And what was really great is we got really sweet discounts at the hotels. They're really nice hotels. And we definitely did not take advantage of that enough. That was a really good thing. And that went away. But because as an employee, you could just walk backstage. So before Harry Potter was officially open to the public and was just doing, I don't know what you needed to get in, but I just walked through and flashed my Universal badge at the guy, the kid at the door, and I just walked right through. And it was such a great experience that can never be duplicated unless there's another pandemic and nobody goes, because it was just empty. And I could just walk in. I did the friggin' wand show where the wand picks you, and usually you have to wait for hours to do that. And I just walked in. So no normal day will ever compare to that. So it's it'll never be as good for me.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So it's just why even bother? It'll never live up to my memories of it. Butterbeer was flowing. It used to be cheaper. They bumped the price up at some time. Oh. So I haven't been to a theme park other than SeaWorld, because SeaWorld is just so cheap. And we just go for the Sesame Street and the animal shows, not any actual rides. But I haven't been to Disney. The kid was asking about going to Disney, and I was like, I really don't want to pay. It's a lot of money, and there's too many people. I just don't want to do it. I don't think it'll be fun. It's too much pressure when you don't have an annual pass and you just get a 1-day ticket that you pay for. It's too much pressure. If you get delayed, if there's any sort of delay, I'd be I'm wasting time. Time is money.
Right. Exactly. So you gotta find these small theme parks that are like the Legolands, and I guess
Legoland's not that cheap either.
no.
The
Oh,
whole theme park universe has decided that the what they provide is worth a premium. I don't know where do you get off? Huh?
come up here.
I'm gonna start my
Just
own
come
casino.
back up here. We'll go up to New Hampshire. Spend the day.
Yeah.
Go
Go
to
to Whalen
Santa's
Park?
Village. Whalen Park's been long gone. It was gone well before you even left.
Did they build anything on? It's like an ancient burial ground now.
Oh my god! So you want to hear a funny thing? So it's condos now, which is interesting.
Oh, good.
It's condos, but it was condos first, and then one corporation bought out all the condos, so now they just rent out the condos. So there's no ownership, which is hilarious. Sure. But last summer, they did a Whalum Park night, and
Where?
it was in a parking lot. And it was
at the condos?
No, not even. It was like downtown area.
Okay.
And it was just in like, you can imagine one of those parking lot carnivals that might be a little shady.
Yeah,
It might not be up to code there.
Sure.
It was essentially that, and everyone was like, this had nothing to do with Whalum Park. It was just one of those roadside carnivals.
Oh, they're using the name to try to get more
They
people
were using the name,
It's disgusting.
trying to drum up some fun and some nostalgia.
Pulling out those nostalgia heartstrings. Well, what's the one that
Yeah.
still exists? Canopy Lake, that's still running.
Canopy Lake is still there. They have a Taylor Swift. We're gonna go this summer because they have if you recall, they used to have like a Michael Jackson performer.
Oh, an impersonator.
An impersonator, and you'd watch like a 15-minute performance by Michael Jackson.
Great.
I think there was one other, but now they have a Taylor Swift impersonator.
Oh my
and
God.
she's called Taylor Slow for legal reasons.
That sounds terrible.
But
ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Slow. And then she comes out. I can't even
go look up Taylor Slow on TikTok. And
I feel like this is heading down a road. You're going down a road I can't follow.
Oh,
or whatever Padme says.
You're breaking my heart.
We gotta talk about that, but the prequels in a second, because we've been
sure.
The kid wanted to watch Star Wars from the beginning, but let me look up Taylor Slow real quick. Okay, so I'm finding a Reddit post where it's her body coming out of a turtle shell.
Don't know anything about that.
Okay, that's the top result. There's an album cover with her face on a snail. That's what I'm finding.
Oh, okay.
Here's Taylor Slow, Shake It Off. It's just her actual Taylor Swift Slow Down. Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna have to. Oh, Taylor Slow is a digital marketing intern at the Grain Group. So yeah, you're gonna have to. Send
I'll
me
have to share.
Exact
I'll
link
send this
to this because Taylor Slow is.
My wife's very excited for this.
Just
so.
Because like
we missed the
it's not like her name
tour.
is Taylor Fast. Like I feel like it could have been a little more clever. Swift, the opposite of swift is slow, I guess.
Swiffer, Taylor Swiffer,
or like use a synonym to slow. Like it's just like slow is too. It seems like too in your face, but that's okay. That's okay. Maybe that's her thing. Yeah. Okay. So the kid wanted to watch Star Wars, and I'm like, finally. And I think we watched. Maybe it was like on TV a little bit, and he knows. Oh, he has Goodnight Darth Vader. Do you know this book?
Yes.
It must have come out during the prequels, because it has friggin' like Jocasta in it and Dex from the diner. Like these characters have been abandoned. It's not like they weren't beloved enough to like to continue to be used in media. So like the prequel stuff must have been fresh. They're like, yeah, let's push these new characters.
Maybe. I think you have to kind of, if there's any mention obviously of Rey, then it's post 2015. But yeah, there's
no. This was all prequel stuff because this is way back. But it's just so funny because it's like these characters. My wife was watching it too. She was with us, and she's read the book to him, and she's like, "Oh, I never knew like who Sebulba was."
Yeah,
it's like, yeah,
what's
you don't really see a lot from the prequel characters. Like they don't really pop up a lot and stuff anymore.
Where are they now?
Anyway, Where are they now? I'd like to see that update. We were talking last week about Watto. Like in the second one, he shows up. He's got that hat. Like he seems like he's aged a million
homeless.
years.
Right.
Yeah. What the hell? He lost all his
destitute.
business.
He did. Well, he made a bad bet.
He sold off his slaves. Yeah. That was okay. There's a lot of weird stuff in the prequels.
I mean, we could have a whole show about the prequels.
We could, but we're gonna have at least a few minutes because I gotta get some answers from you, and I know you're the one to turn to. So let's start from the very beginning. When we first meet our characters, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are going to the Trade Federation. Is that correct?
Correct.
And give me an equivalency here. What is the Trade Federation? It's like, that's like a country compared to what we have now, or that's like Democrats and Republicans? Like, what is the Trade Federation?
A Trade Federation, I believe, was like almost like a union, I guess. So, like a faction of that portion of it. You're not going to get any good information out of me, but
okay.
They lived, at least the aliens, the Nemoidians, they lived on a planet called Cato Nemoidia. But they were in charge of, gosh, it's tough it's all like hyperspace lanes and trade disputes with that stuff.
But they made the robots, the droids, the battle droids, they made them.
The Genosians
but
made
they
the
like,
battle droids.
But like the Newt Gunray and them, like financed
purchased them. They probably did finance them to a degree, but they also utilized the battle
They're
droids.
Like, we need an army. Make us an army.
Right.
Because we're going to go out and do things that require us to have an army. And we're not fighting. We're not going out there with our little stiff arms. We're not going out there and fighting.
No, of course not. So like Naboo in itself was, their primary export was like plasma. Like
gross
energy plasma, and that explains
those balls?
That. No, those were the Gungan energy balls.
That's different. That's different.
You remember in the final, the duel, the fates at the end of that movie, they're in that room with all the plasma. That's Naboo's primary export is
what
refined
do you do with plasma? You power
I don't
stuff?
know what you do with it.
You don't know?
Yeah,
that's what you make lightsabers out of. The plasma.
They make lightsabers out of kyber crystals.
Kyber crystals. But it creates plasma, right? Or light.
I don't know.
It's confusing. I will also say, we're going to skip around a lot here. The lightsabers look kind of shitty in Revenge of the Sith. Like, are they always just like solid white with some color around it? Like, it looked very much like some kid just made it in After Effects. Like,
really? See, I thought they were always supposed to be 100% like the coloration, but yeah, there's also
it was just like very white, and I'm like, this looks like it's not finished. Like, just
the
use
saturation
the
turned down on your TV.
It might be my fault. Yeah, it might be my fault, but it looked bad, and I'm like, I don't know that this. Like, I know back in the day it was probably like, oh, but I don't know that the lightsaber translates anymore as like a cool looking thing, because anyone can make it in Photoshop. Like, it's not exciting. I don't know.
No.
I just thought they could make it more detailed or something, but whatever. Going back.
Okay.
So Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon show up on this boat, or, the ship, and there's like a trade dispute between who? The Gungan or like Naboo?
The Trade Federation and the Naboo, yes.
Okay.
So they set up a blockade.
The Trade Federation is not allowing Naboo to transport their plasma.
I'm assuming, or whatever their primary export is. Yes.
So there's a conflict there, and now there's a Senate, and the Senate is like like the U.S. has a Senate, and the U.S. has a government, and this is their government. But like, whose government? The universe's government?
I would say,
galaxy?
the Republic, yeah. So the Republic is...
And the Republic is the government for the galaxy. Like, everyone that obeys a law that exists. Okay. Everybody has agreed to that. That's why, like, the ET aliens have a pod in the Senate.
And then, again, of course,
species.
some planets don't have Republic...
representation.
Representation, thank you. Mm-hmm. So that's why on Tatooine you have... kind of
the outer rim,
slavery.
Be on the outer rim. Okay.
There, yes.
So planets in the Republic do not have slaves.
I would believe, because there's anti-slavery laws, according to Padme.
We're getting somewhere.
At the table
Great.
dinner. Yeah, okay.
Love it. Okay. So we know that. So, okay, the Jedi are sort of like the defenders of the Senate. Because Obi-Wan's like, my allegiance is to democracy.
Yeah, well, they're like UN ambassadors. Like, they go...
But they're also like police, so they get involved and they chop stuff up.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because there's not like an additional police force to get involved.
Not
like if there has to be, someone has to do something. It's the Jedi.
So, like, according to go into the Clone Wars, there's no standing army within the Republic. Like, they had to raise that clone army in order to fight against the Separatists.
So the clone army is a whole thing because the Jedi didn't know that was happening. That was like the Emperor's plan, but he made it he had Dooku go and pretend to be Cypher Diaz and get that going. Because the plan all along was to have the clones replace the droid army. Because the Emperor didn't like the droids. He wanted the clones.
Well, Sifo Dyas does exist as a character, and he does go and ask for a clone army to be made. Correct.
With what intention? Was he bad?
He sees a vision in the Force, I believe it is.
But is he tricked? That seems like he got tricked.
I think everybody was tricked at the end of it. Everyone's tricked.
Yeah. Everyone seems pretty gullible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's going on. And then all along, you have the Emperor who is pulling strings. Now, where does he start? Like, is he just some dude, or was he like always? He trained as a Jedi, or he was able to train as a Sith?
He trained as a Sith, but secretly as a Sith, but outwardly he had his political ambitions as a senator.
Okay, so
he went up through those ranks.
He was always a Sith, but he became involved in politics as cover, but also that allowed him to get places he couldn't just like come in and slash with lightsaber. Okay. So he hatches this plan to get control over everything by becoming the head of the Senate. And then did he always need an acolyte? Is that what we're learning now? Like that they always need like two of them, a master and an apprentice?
Yes, that's just the rule of two as far as the Sith go. That's cool. Established.
So Darth Maul was his apprentice at the beginning, but he dies.
Right, he dies.
And Dooku was never his apprentice, right? He was just sort of like...
Dooku is his apprentice.
He is technically his apprentice?
So the idea of that plays along the fact that Anakin was always this chosen one, and always strong in the Force, and always created by the Force. And in doing so, he would have been the strongest apprentice, and if he could be turned and become a Sith apprentice, then he would be the most powerful Sith apprentice, and Sith to continue the legacy of
but did
Sith
Palpatine always know that this kid would come along, or it wasn't until he popped up that he's like, oh, okay, this is the kid I need?
So there's a lot of if you go into the comic books, it's a lot of like manipulation that says that Palpatine did in fact create Anakin.
Oh,
but there's also some evidence to say that didn't happen, and it was just coercion.
Well, what does George say? Because that's all that matters at the end of the day.
I don't know what George says.
So Anakin to me is a weird character because he starts off as, he was virgin birth, and so like right away, is his mom telling him that, or is she just like she never like answers him? Like, what do you think? Do you think he knew that he was like special because he didn't have a dad, or was she like, he ran away? He was a junk trader. He was nobody.
Right. Yeah. To get the whole Rey treatment.
Right.
You don't even know who your parents were. They were drunk skunks or whatever the heck he says. Bunch of drunks.
Because he obviously was very good at, he was Force sensitive. I think he knew that because he was good at pod racing. But he also, it's told to us that he's a good person. He never does anything for himself or whatever she says to Qui-Gon.
He's very selfless. Yes.
So obviously that changes. And by the end, he wants, does he want to overthrow the Emperor and rule with Padme? Is that what he says to her?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So he got to do 180 there. So I wonder if he had just stayed as a slave, if it would have been better for everybody. Or if eventually he would have, if these, did it come with puberty or whatever? These feelings of no, I could do more. It's not fair.
That's a good question. It really is.
Because he was one whiny motherfucker, this Anakin. It was hard to root for him.
Yeah. That was a big problem with those prequels, especially early on. And I think a lot of people have turned around since and have a lot of good feelings towards the actor that portrayed Anakin.
Hayden, yeah.
Canadian.
Did you know that? He's Canadian.
It seemed likely. Yeah, okay.
Hayden, he's no De Niro, but also I don't think Lucas did him any favors. Lucas doesn't exactly get the best performance out of his actors.
No, and at the same time,
luck of the draw.
I feel and I think as the story goes with Hayden Christensen there, is that he was kind of hired as an unknown, and he hadn't really had a lot of experience acting, especially for the Attack of the Clones. So you can definitely tell some of that was very tacked on and very wooden.
Yeah,
almost terms was
supposed to be what his character was like. Did they just lean into it? He's very wooden. He doesn't have much of a personality.
Yeah, no personality. This guy that really has to lean in on his passion. He's just very monotone and by the numbers.
Mm-hmm. So, right. So then we get to Revenge of the Sith, and he put a baby in Padme. They weren't
babies.
Careful. Wow. That was also funny. Did they know it was twins? This is what my wife commented, when they're delivering the babies. Did they know it was twins? They weren't oh shit, there's another one. They checking 101 Dalmatians. How many got in here?
Well, I mean, I guess Obi-Wan was surprised.
Well, okay.
Which begs the question, because you say you got two very strong Force-sensitive children.
Yeah.
And they're not picking up on that at all? Or...
Right?
Now it's implied...
Jedi kind of suck.
Now, I gotta tell you right now, so the prequels obviously have their haters, and they also have their apologists and their supporters. And I fall under the camp of a supporter, but at the same time, it's improved upon. Those movies are improved upon by the Clone Wars cartoon series that was
supplemental
on the CW.
Material. Really does a lot of legwork.
It was on Cartoon Network, and then it was on Disney. But it's implied towards the end of the run, when Disney picked it up, that Obi-Wan had always known.
He knew they were twins, really?
No, not twins, that they were together as a couple.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you don't. I mean,
Right.
I mean, how do you not? He would have to be real dumb. What? What?
I can't believe it.
Now, is this true or false? There was a storyline cut where Obi-Wan and Padme had a little something going on.
Now, that was one of the rumors early on with not the Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, where there was going to be a love triangle. Yeah. And that didn't pan out at all.
I feel like there's still artifacts of it, because when Obi-Wan reveals himself on Mustafar, and Anakin gets super pissed, you don't just jump to the conclusion. You don't get that mad if it's just your friend. You must be I knew it. You had a thing going the whole time, because he starts choking. He's gonna kill her just because Obi-Wan shows up.
Right.
I don't think that happens if it's just your buddy.
There's also that line in the Obi-Wan show where Obi-Wan goes and tells Leia that he should have been her. In another time he should have been her dad. That's right. Like, what is he trying to do there? So I guess
yes. That Obi-Wan show was something else. I feel like I need to go back and watch it now.
I have to rewatch it as well. I have to see if I can either appreciate it or just be like, nah, this isn't that great.
I feel like we all just collectively remember the end where like the Vader mask gets cut and you see Anakin, and that's
I think so.
That was enough. That like getting that moment was reason enough for that show to exist. But all the other stuff, like I'm like there's the part where like he's traveling and I'm just like, what the hell was there? Was the Reva character? I was like, what happened in this show? Like none of this is referenced.
That show's so interesting just because that show was originally supposed to be, if you remember, a movie.
Yes.
The Star Wars stories. It would have been, and they had to add all that additional material because it was solo a Star Wars movie, which didn't do well, has its fans again, but didn't do well in the box office. And then they almost had to restructure a lot of the movies going forward because they say, we got 2 Star Wars coming out each year. It's
too much Star Wars.
It was too much, and they said we're going to scale it back and just do TV shows. And then now they've got to scale it back even further. And I
still don't understand from financial standpoint. A TV series makes you no money because you already have the Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah,
a movie makes you money.
What is it? Sure.
I just don't understand from I just don't get it, but they do seem to like stop making movies in favor of TV shows. So I don't know. We'll see if that trend continues. But yeah, I will say this about the prequels. They had some really nice fight scenes that went on a long time. Like Revenge of the Jedi or Revenge of the Sith, especially like the first scene with the space battle and then the final battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Great. Very fun. Cinema, but the story that connects it all together is just not the best.
Yeah. Oh,
nobody comes out looking great. Even Yoda is sort of like a punk. Like he just makes really bad decisions. He's like, Obi-Wan, you go kill Anakin. I'll take the Emperor. And Obi-Wan's like, no, I'm not gonna. I can't. And he's like, you'll be fine. You're not strong enough to take the Emperor. Well, you didn't fucking beat him either, Yoda.
Yeah, he just took off, lost his
lightsaber,
you just ran away, lost his
into
cape.
Exile. I go.
Yep, just quit like that. You're right. Yeah, no, it was just like, well, this is it. I can't do it.
This is it. I give up. Jimmy Smits, like get me out of here. There's a scene where Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Mace Windu are flying. I don't know which movie it is. Probably the third movie. And Obi-Wan's like, I don't understand. Wasn't the prophecy that Anakin would bring balance to the Force? And Yoda's basically like, well, maybe we misread that.
Yeah, maybe the big excuse is, well, the dark side is everywhere. Well, that's the other thing, too. So the connection with the Force and the galaxy-spanning Clone Wars, the war clouds the vision of the Jedi. It brings dark side and imbalance to the Jedi, right. So they can't see and utilize the Force as much, and it's even mentioned in the movies. There, they say that their connection to the Force is diminished,
right?
Because
they were going to go tell everybody. Like, we should go tell somebody. It's like, no, let's keep that a secret. Probably not great to spread that information.
Sure, but now, like, we've got the Acolyte now, which is just leading up to them being like pure dirtbags to begin with. They've always been dirtbags. I mean, if you don't see it that way, and we better find out by this next episode what actually happened, so we can actually see that Wookiee for more than 5 minutes of the show.
I forgot all about. Listen, okay, I'm digging the Acolyte now. I feel like it's taken us places we haven't been before.
I feel like we're at a point now. The gentleman who was the actor that portrays Chimere, who's really just stolen the show. Everybody appreciates
100%. 100%.
It's just stolen the show. Yes, Jason from, what was it, The Good Place?
The Good Place, yeah.
Yes, stolen the show, even to the point where this episode, which, again, A lot of dialogue, no real action, just a lot of explanation as to what is going on.
Some nice character development, sure.
Correct, yes. Almost some full frontal nudity in Star Wars.
Well,
almost
I was
happened.
like, are we watching The Boys here? What is this?
I thought we were going to see something. I really did.
I was
like, this is.
I think we did. Did anyone freeze frame it? I think there was a frame or two where something was there. I don't know. So yeah, so the first half of The Acolyte, very by the numbers, but now we've really reversed things where we have a character in May that was presented as the good guy and her twin sister presented as the bad guy. Now we could see them switching it up a little bit. Yeah, we'll see what's going on there. Now Soul is very interesting because it seems like he has a deep dark secret that he's going to reveal. And do you think it could turn out that he's not a super great guy?
We all know. I mean, if it's not written out, I mean, shame on you for not being able to realize that the Jedi that showed up pretty much just annihilated that witch's that coven.
That's what you think happened?
Oh, of course. You think it was the fire? You think they all got smoke inhalation from that tiny torch there? Oh, no.
I don't know. We better find out. But that's the mystery that we have left. That's our remaining.
And now he's almost so he's being accused, and that's the other interesting thing is that the Jedi on Coruscant, the council there, thinks that Soul is the turned Jedi.
Do they?
He's almost like a fugitive on the run. Well, he can't get in touch with they're really helping Kaede Mundi there. I feel like realize that the Sith didn't exist because they're like, oh, we're having a transmission issue. What are you trying to say to us? Oh, we better get down there.
We got to provide some cover for that old cone head.
Yeah.
Well, then we have the lady with the whip, and that was funny. Is that all you think we'll see of that? Like, that everyone was so mad. There's no whip lightsabers, and that's all we get of it.
There's plenty of whip lightsabers. There've been whip lightsabers forever.
Listen, I'm not as well versed.
No, they're happy. Forever.
That's fine. That's not how light works, but that's okay. She seems a little shady too.
Oh, she does, doesn't she?
I mean, I love it. I love when
the big question is
people aren't just like Boy Scouts.
So she in the High Republic books, comic books, and media prior to this, she is a prominent character throughout.
Oh, okay.
The start as a young apprentice all the way to a Jedi Knight and then a Master.
Wow.
And the implication, obviously, with this is that she was Kymir's Jedi Master.
Okay.
And that is why his back is all scarred up.
Oh, it's from
it's from the lightsaber whip.
Very good. I see now. Very good. Okay, great. Well, that happened a long time ago, but how long is a long time ago to him?
Yeah.
Like 10 years, I guess. All right. Well, I'm excited. How many? That was what? Episode 6?
I believe it was
2 more?
episode 6. Yeah, we have 2 more.
Now I don't want it to end. We got this show. We got Andor. We got some good Star Wars stuff still coming. I'm excited.
We do.
We got some good stuff coming in the next half of the show, but I need to take a quick break and reset, and we will be right back. Before we go too much further, you can listen to Bill and myself on Zio to Hero, their latest episode, wherever podcasts are served. We talked about collecting before, during, and after the pandemic and what differences, if any, there were. I thought that was a pretty interesting conversation to take us mentally back to that time.
Brought up a lot of memories. If I'm being
did.
honest, I was like, I don't know if I really want to necessarily remember it.
I know.
A lot of it sounded just absurd, like we were doing what?
I know.
But
there was a toilet paper shortage. What were you using?
Yeah.
Like, we were cutting up T-shirts for masks and then using those same T-shirts to wipe our butts. All right, whatever. So yeah, listen to us. Like I said, download that episode, and It's the summer of us being guests on other shows. We're gonna talk to someone else this Friday. I'm not sure if that show is live on YouTube or recorded, but we will give you a link on Instagram. Find information about how to listen to us there. I'm sure that would be good. And then we have someone that has reached out from the world of stand-up who's interested, who's also a collector, who would like to be a guest on the show. So we're going to book that for sometime this summer. And
wow.
He's a collector of the Mezco 112 collective. And this week, Mezco continued their Ninja Turtle series with a non-Ninja Turtle character. They're doing Casey Jones. And they did preview this a ways back. That's kind of the thing with Mezco and this 112 line is they'll like show you like what could be like years before it actually becomes a reality.
Oh wow.
Like, and sometimes things don't even come out. There are some figures that were like that Doc Ock that got put up for pre-order last week or the week before. People were like, is that figure ever coming out? And yeah, it finally did. So I don't know how it works over there, but this Casey Jones went up for pre-order, sold out, pre-sold out. Looks fine, you know. If it's you know, I don't know. It's Casey Jones. He's in sweatpants and a cut off tee. It's just kind of like raggedy.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, it looks like you could put it together if you wanted.
Hockey sticks. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's got some arsenal. He's got a bunch of heads, a bunch of hands. It's fun. Again, fine.
Yeah, but it's like
$120.
130 for that.
Well, I'm looking at it right here.
Oh, I take it back. I don't know where I saw 130.
120. I don't know. Maybe there's a deluxe version or something. With shipping, it's probably 130 at least.
It's like when I went up to New Hampshire and the gas was 40 cents more expensive than it was down here, and I said, "What the heck's going on?" Yeah, but you save on
tax. You save on tax. It evens out. Got to make that money somehow. Do they have a much higher gas tax because they have no sales tax?
That's a good question. I just know that I went to an area and we went to that bear show, and the gas station in the center of town was 40 cents more than what I was willing to pay. And I said, "Did something jump up in the 6 days that we've been gone?"
How much is it right now?
In my neck of the woods, like $3.39, maybe a little less, depending on where you go.
$3.50, $3.60 right here, right now.
Okay.
It was down to like $3.30.
Yeah.
But back up again. But yeah. So Casey Jones, you know.
Get yourself on that wait list. I'm not excited. Well, right. Again, I guess I'm all turtled out because it's like everybody's got their hands in the pot for the turtle stuff, and it's like
there's so much turtles.
There's so much, and everybody always, you know, I have to take myself off of that party wagon page because
the Facebook group
people just I don't understand it. They're like,
yeah. Someone
posted today there was 8-foot tall wood carvings of the turtles, and they were like, I was seriously contemplating getting these, but they were $1,800 and I couldn't fit them in my car. And I was like, I know you're joking about that, but it's like turtles everything. And I'm like, this is just too much turtles. Too much.
I mean, if people are buying it, it's not too much.
Fair enough. I know I'm looking at like 6 different things in front of me right now.
If those original Mezco turtles went up like for sale again, exactly the same, I would have a hard time not getting them because they look so good. I didn't need the tune colored versions, but I usually say like I only buy toys of turtles that look like existing media, but I do actually, you know, in retrospect with all the fan photos, I like the way they look. I don't know, but then I have like the NECA Turtles 3 set behind me in the box that I'm like, do I even like it? Like it could be empty as far as I know. I didn't look at it.
Oh sure, yeah.
Just like I can just buy stuff because it's like it looks cool, but then it's like, what am I doing with it? What am I doing with it? Like eventually I'll sell it. Hopefully I make my money back.
Right. Yeah. And there was some guy today. He had shown off his classified collection, but it was all boxed up and like in order of like they look like they're booked, just like numbers and like
right, just the side of them.
Yeah. People are like, just open them, dude. And then someone was like, if you just wanted the empty boxes, I would have given you the empty boxes.
I know, that's the trick. That's the trick with the boxes, is they're so easy to catalog that way, but then it doesn't even like that's how the Power Rangers are. And I kept a bunch of them in the box, like the special, like the whatever the shiny versions are, and then like
Yes.
anything I bought. After a certain point, I stopped opening them. I do this with a lot of toys where it's like, I don't need it anymore, but I'm still buying them. And they're just like, you know, exactly like that. They look like books on a shelf in my closet. But let's see. So what do I want to connect that to? Oh, so speaking of turtle releases, this is a big one. It's a big one, but somehow I have 0% excitement for this. Tatsu from the movies getting an action figure at long last.
Yeah. This has been something. This has been right up there with those NECA sisters in terms of getting the mythic stories about getting the gentleman's likeness who portrayed him in the movies. They say, oh no, he refused, or they couldn't find him.
He's off the grid.
He's off the yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, you know, pictures surface. He winds up the listing winds up on the Walmart website, and then photos start circulating of the actual figure, and of course they're that grainy,
the potato
shaky,
photo.
like potato photo, as you call it.
I don't get it.
And people start examining the box, and they're like, it doesn't say NECA on it, or it doesn't say Nickelodeon, and then there's like all these like little earmarks that people are checking off, and then there's other photos coming up, and they're like, well, why does he have that demon mask? And then someone's like, well, they're paying homage to the 2012 iteration of it, and it was like, again, reason to leave that page. It's just makes my head hurt.
The way this was revealed was very weird, because you know we did see those potato photos first, and then I don't know where those photos came from. Did somebody find it at Walmart? Like, is this at Walmart? Because now people are finding it. And someone put it on eBay, so it exists. It's not like just on AliExpress or something like that.
Which it is on AliExpress, by the way.
Right. But in addition, so it's like, how did that all happen at the same time? That doesn't make sense to me. But this figure is weird because it's all soft goods.
Oh, is it? Interesting.
And that's not how they've been doing. Like, Shredder has a soft goods cape, but he's sculpted. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know if they didn't want to invest in the molds. Like, I wonder what the body underneath this is. Like, it's probably a pre-existing body that they just covered up.
It's kind of like Friar Tuck there from the Robin Hood line back
just
in the day.
Gamorrean guard.
It was the Gamorrean guard.
Probably, because they weren't sure that it would ever happen, and like they got it, and they're like, "How fast can we turn this around?" It's like, well, we could sculpt a couple of heads, but we got to just make some cloth. It looks so big and flowy. It just looks bizarre to me. But thankfully, I don't care. So I wonder how the people that like have been really looking forward to this figure feel about it.
Passionately, like everything else that comes across their screen every single day of the week.
The turtle people, I'd love to get them in a room. I want
the turtle people.
From the turtle people.
I feel like I think the current fandom for the turtle people is like people under 30, and I just can't appreciate it.
Oh, really? Under 30? Yeah. Wow. So how did they get into turtles? What was on the air when they came around? Next mutation?
Yeah, probably the Fox stuff.
The Fox stuff? Well, I would think they'd be more excited about the Super 7 figures then.
You think so?
I haven't heard. I don't know. I guess there's no reason for Super 7 to like give us numbers at this point. But I haven't heard about if those are doing well in terms of pre-orders.
Are they ever very, very vocal about how well their stuff is doing?
No, but it's just interesting because, you know, we're so used to these like Kickstarter things where we see the thermometer.
Oh, sure.
So it's like now I'm like, because it's a pre-order and there's a window. So it's like, I wonder how many. I mean, I don't think it's like, I don't think there is a number that if it doesn't reach it, they're not getting made. I think they're getting made.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious. I just like wonder how popular these figures are. Cause like, and also I'm probably like the most excited about these 2003 Turtles, but I'm not going to pre-order when they're a year out, especially not from Super 7.
Not. Right.
So I just wonder how that dynamic works now.
Maybe they'll treat it like they've done with like the Power Rangers, and they'll treat each individual one in terms of ordering, and then one won't get made.
I think that
because it doesn't perform well.
Right. Well, that's
like,
my concern.
Donatello performed under what expectations were, and they only do 3 of them. Just have like a Madam Web situation in the Tiger Sword.
Sorry.
They didn't do well enough.
Donnie didn't make it, but here are the other 3. Like, the fuck? What is this? That would be, I don't know if they are willing, but that would be a very funny, like, April Fool's kind of gag, just to see how people reacted. God. Like, sorry, try again.
Pull their hairs out. Speaking of something that is getting funded.
Yes,
the
exactly.
HasLab Cantina.
Congratulations to Mr. Stevie
goal.
And the crew.
They got the minimum.
8,000. They got the minimum. They're up to 9,313 with, well, it's Saturday, so 2 days left. Monday night at midnight, it ends.
Yeah.
Very possible that we get at least that first.
We'll probably get Greedo. Yeah, we'll probably get Greedo.
And then, I don't know. Next one is 14. I mean, I could see it, honestly.
I honestly, with the HasLab Star Wars stuff, it always seems like a come from behind, where the last hour, the last 6 hours of the day, always generates the most, because obviously people want it to at least succeed, and then if it starts meeting some stretch goals, then we'll
and the FOMO starts to kick in, because you're like, it's now or never. It's like, I didn't have to pre-order then, but I do have to now. So you get a little bit of your concern. You're like, I'm just gonna do it, because if you're gonna want it eventually, this is the cheapest it's ever gonna be. You're gonna pay over $100 at minimum if you ever want to get it, like in the secondary market. So that's good. The other HasLab that did get funded was the G.I. Joe Dragonfly. Now that has been delayed. Did you hear about this?
I did.
So it sounds like they weren't happy with the samples they were getting back.
Which is fine. I mean, I'd rather have a nice polished product delivered to me.
I think that's good. Yep.
And I could definitely see areas where they would have issue with overall presentation. The rotors sagging a little bit, the missiles sagging down due to just gravity and the materials used for like the missile appearances and everything like that. One of the
figures that comes with it, the female character, and people weren't happy with her face.
Oh, okay.
She said they looked a little bit too Karen-like. Did you see that?
No. Heron.
Okay.
Heron?
Karen.
Karen.
You know, like let me see your manager, Karen.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Like with the hairstyle. I don't know if it looks any different than the prototype.
Oh. Did they make her look like Kate Gosselin?
Yeah, they used
OG
her
Karen
as the model for it, which I think is a mistake, honestly. That's okay. So when was that? It's like, when was it supposed to be released, and when is it coming out now?
I believe we were supposed to be expecting it within the next 2 months.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
It's been pushed back to December.
All right. So just in time for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Just in time for my wife to get mad at me when something large in a box shows up.
We'll just tell her it's for her. And then use the box it came in and put something small in it and be like, I tricked you.
We go. Gotcha.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. One time, this is real dumb. One time, someone left a box that, like, roses come in or something.
Yeah.
And this was like Valentine's Day, and they left it like at work or whatever. And I grabbed it, and I thought it would be so funny to put it outside our door. And I'm like. And my wife gets it, and it's it's trashed. And she's like, "Well, where are the flowers?" I was like, "Tricked you."
Oh, got you.
She's like, "We didn't get me anything." I'm like, "No, it's a joke." And she's like, "This is not funny." It's like, "Yeah, it's not funny. I didn't get you anything."
Not very funny.
It wasn't very funny.
Oh man.
I'm not saying I'm a smart guy. I'm not saying I'm smart. It's like, you got to take the chance. Maybe it would have been the funniest thing ever. But
could you imagine? It's just like one of those classic moments where you just both laugh. Oh, you got me nothing.
Ah, you got me. Ah. That's fine. Boss fight. Making Garfield action figures. I think these look really fun.
These. Yeah,
these are
and reasonably priced too.
Yeah, Boss Fight has that nice $25 price point for everything. Like the Fraggles, I think, are right around there. Looks very good, very on model. Enough articulation that it's not too distracting. Garfield comes with an alternate faceplate, a pan of lasagna. Yeah. Like, what more could you want?
Did that new Garfield movie come out?
Yes, it did, with Chris Pratt.
Okay.
My kid wanted to see it. But I didn't take him. But he did get to see Despicable Me this weekend. Yeah. My kid has been watching the new CGI animated Garfield on Netflix or something. I don't even know, if it's like a Netflix original. But I was asking, he was watching it, and it's very different. Like, Garfield goes on, like, adventures, which is not what the Garfield that we grew up with does. And I'm like, why do you like this? Or why do you like Garfield? And he's like, he's funny. And I was like, he is funny, but this is not the kind of humor that Garfield should have. This is very different. So, I don't know. I wonder what this Garfield movie is like. If
my kid's been watching
like this new Garfield. Yeah, you were telling me about that. I'm not familiar with that.
On Netflix.
It's just sounds.
Booba.
It's just sounds.
Yeah, and actions. Booba. It's Russian.
My kid. Oh, it's Russian?
Yes.
Can't be watching that shit, Bill. Come on. They're the enemy. For now. Right?
Well, no, my son's the enemy. I don't watch Booba. I'll have them take him away. It's fine.
He's being indoctrinated, and he's gonna be the next Manchurian candidate.
You know, I sent you that video of the chainsaw tonight.
The chain, yeah. Vroom, vroom, chopping you up.
Freaking Goodwill.
You didn't have to buy him the chainsaw.
No, I didn't have to. And I also didn't have to buy him the Arkham Asylum Imaginext set either, but $3 is $3, and it's
had to buy him that.
Yeah.
I found a huge bag of Akato at Goodwill this week, and I was Akato and Beyblade. I was like, yes, please.
There you go.
So now I have a ton of Beyblade.
There you are.
And they're all exactly the same. I don't know why you would need more than one Beyblade. It's just a metal ring inside a plastic ring inside the little spinner thing.
Oh.
No different. But we love Akato. I saw that they're going to do Sonic the Hedgehog Akato.
Okay. Well, that sounds fun enough. I guess they're phasing out the Turtles Akato.
I guess they are, because I don't know what else they would do.
But where would the Sonic Akato go in? Because I don't believe I've ever seen Akato at a Walmart, and at Target they're in with the action figure aisle. I mean, I could be wrong.
I don't know.
But also Target with their last markdown rotation, all the Akato was marked down. And now, and I was on the record as saying that Target did not carry Gujitsu.
Right.
They are going hard with the latest line of Gujitsu. I
saw the new 2-packs there. I also saw a new X-Men Gujitsu with brown costume Wolverine and gray Beast. And then on the back it showed yellow Wolverine and Cyclops.
Right, and I've seen the new Marvel ones as of today, and they have I guess a little bit more eco-friendly packaging. They're not in
It's smaller. Yeah.
They appear smaller, but they're also in like a paper sleeve with just like a plastic bag around them as opposed to the clamshell.
Yes. Well, I saw a Power Wing of just generic Gujitsu, and it's like the original packaging, but shrunk, like much less on the sides.
Much less. So and then, we've gotten a few of those. I found the ultra rare, and then subsequently I found 2 more today. So how rare are these things?
I found the crab guy at a TJ Maxx. And I almost picked it up because I did a quick Google Lens and it was selling for like $30 and it was only like $7.
Who's the crab guy?
He's from like a few series ago, but it turns out I already have him. I already had him, so it must have been from a year ago because I haven't picked up a new one in a long time.
Yeah, no, the kid loves the Gujitsus. He loves
They're fun. They're a lot of fun.
Stuff. They are fun. There's this newer one called Redback, and he's just full of giant marbles.
Oh, what?
Like oversized. It's one of the 2-packs. It's one of the 2-packs, and he comes with Who does he come with? I think it's either Blazagon or the other hero that they always Thrash. It's Sir Thrash a lot because its night theme is the newest.
Nice.
Is the newest iteration. They're all knights.
They're like becoming like Paw Patrol, where there's just like a new theme every season.
A new theme, sure, yeah. So last one was pirates, now they're knights. But yeah, Sir Thrash a lot, and I'm always disappointed when it's like the same kind of material inside.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like it's just like the goo or the cornstarch, the corn syrup.
Well, the original ones used to have little like plastic shapes floating
skulls
around
and
they had like skulls and bones and stuff. Yeah.
So
they don't do that anymore.
This redback character, he's just full of gigantic, like oversized marbles, like plastic beads, and it's just like it sounds so it's so fun, like texturally to like play with.
Is he a tick?
I don't think he's a tick. I think he's just like a lobster or
he looks
a
like
spider.
Oh, he could be or a tick.
That's
kind of what those. That's kind of what those look like. Oh, he's got spider webs inside him, so it must be a spider. The marbles have spider webs inside them. Okay, well there you go.
What?
Well, from the picture on like the product photo that's like photoshopped, you can tell that there's spider webs. So
I gotta look at this again.
You gotta see that, yeah. We're talking about Moose Toys, maker of Akedo and Gujitsu. They have a new handle on Instagram at Moose Toys, so go on there and follow them. And on that Instagram, they announced that they are partnering with Mr. Beast for Mr. Beast Lab, which I have immensely mixed feelings about.
Didn't know that this was the direction, so I was very much looking forward to where Beast Lab was going to go in their second year, and this completely threw me by surprise. I was just like, wait, what?
This may be just sort of like a branch on the tree. This may not be like an official series 2, but from this photo we can assume a few things. So they have the Gujitsu Mr. Beast, and these are all based on his logo, which is like a blue panther with like a pink lightning bolt. There looks to be the traditional Beast Lab figure in the middle, but we don't see the container for it.
Right.
But
what we do see, separate.
What we do see is almost like looks like a stein, like a beer stein kind of container with a smaller action figure in
5.5, so
called
Masters of the Universe size.
Mutalor? What is it? Mutator? Maybe that's what it is. Mr. Beast Lab Mutator. So these are like maybe mini Beast Labs?
There's 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, then there's these packs that come with test tubes called Swarms, and it looks like the test tube fits into what looks like the handle of the mug. Okay. So they work together.
But the Swarms are like mini.
They're like little, like...
They're almost like the Grocery Gang, Shopkins style.
Exactly, yeah. Like
action
little
figure.
Like from the quarter machine kind of guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is actually interesting. This is like the idea I had where you would feed the large toy the smaller toys.
Okay.
I think I've talked about this before.
Yes.
So this may be essentially that kind of thing. So that's fine. I'm willing just to see where this goes. I think that's interesting. I don't love the partnership with Mr. Beast. I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess I understand why toy companies are doing this because the age demographic that watches Mr. Beast is young, and they look up to this guy.
Are they toy aged though? That's the thing.
Yeah,
so that's where I'm kind of, because obviously my son's 4, and my oldest doesn't even know what a Mr. Beast is. She's 7.
Good. Keep it that way. Yeah. Well, I think it's if you watch YouTube, or if you're watching YouTube, you're probably a little bit. You just know the name.
Right.
So, also, Mr. Beast making some news this week that he would love to run for president if they lowered the minimum age. So he is 26. He just turned 26. You have to be 35 to be president. So we have at least a decade before this is an issue.
He'll probably get bored by then. Here's
the thing.
Mr. Beast's track record tracks.
Here's the thing. Keep this tape on record, because I think there is a group of people who will be of voting age when he is able to be president that would vote for him. And he will have 10 more years of him giving money to poor people and bringing water to Africa. Like, he's building up a resume of good stuff that, you know, if he could get, like, PR training to appear more human-like, if he could be more relatable, I can see that as being an issue. Now, this is all to say if we still have, like, a democracy in 10 years, and that's a big if. So, you know, we may have the emperor installed by then, but who knows? Who knows? But I'm just saying, you know, keep this tape. We'll see what happens in 10 years. President Jimmy Donaldson,
Mr. Beast 2024
comes out with a Super Soaker. It's Nerf brand.
Power
Mr. Beast.
Well, bye everybody.
Did you freeze? Did I freeze?
What the hell happened?
I don't know if you can hear me, but you have frozen, or I have frozen for you. I don't know. I don't know what happens. I'm going to hit stop in a second if I don't hear back from you. I'm going to give it a second, see if it figures itself out. All right, everybody. Well, you know what we say. We don't want to grow up, but we already did. Have a great week, everybody.